Woo! It is colder than Frosty's giblets out there, but thankfully I'm in a shop with heat. Didn't used to have that. Today we are going to make one of these out of some old barn wood. But let's get dressed for success. Now that's better. Now, I don't want to take a bunch off of this. I just want to take enough that it's going to give us a nice straight edge and we can get rid of the tongue and the groove part. But I'm only going to do one edge and then I'm going to take it over the table saw and square it up. All right, now that that is done, as you can see, all of them have a nice square flat edge, and I'm going to use that as a reference on the fence. But as you can see, I do have a saw stop, and because I do not know what is in all of this, there could be metal, moisture, shards of something that will set off the brake, and I don't feel like paying $110 to replace it or replace my woodpecker's blade. So what I need to do then is put it in bypass mode. Before I make any cuts, I need to figure out what I need to rip it to. So we currently have about 6 inches. So I would like to cut this directly in half to give me as much stock as possible. I ended up setting it at 2 7/8 of an inch. Before I start making these cuts, make sure you have some safety protection for your eyes, and also I'm going to throw a respirator on just because I don't know what's in this wood and I don't want it in my lungs. To turn the saw into bypass mode, simply turn the key once until the light blinks red, turn the saw on, it will blink red again, release the key, and you're good to cut. Okay, now that we have these ripped down, what is that? Yes, I know I'm wearing different clothes. It actually is the next day from when I was filming for the previous part, and fun little tidbit of information for you all is I actually cook at a restaurant and I got called in early. So we're gonna make this 1-hour build into a 2-day build. Who knew? But first we need to set the miter saw to 30 degrees, and that's where we're gonna make all of these cuts. And the first cut needs to be at a length of 6 3/4 inches. Okay, now, oh, hold on. Okay, now that that is cut to 6 3/4 inches, we need to make 5 more cuts at 6 inches. Actually, before I do that, I need to set up a stop block. Now, do you have to do this? Absolutely not. But the OCD in me likes everything to be the exact same. So I'm going to take this little block, put it up here. I already have it marked on my fence, which is a good alternative if you're not as OCD. And you can just set it there. Rapid repeatability. That's what I'm talking about. The barnwood that I'm using has a red show side, and that's what I'm choosing to have exposed. And as you can see, I like to flip the piece, and that gives me my initial cut. And to cut it to length, I slide it up against the stop block and make my cut. Oh, these students are driving me nuts today. I can't believe it's not lunchtime yet. I wonder if it's corn dog day. All right, now let's start assembling. So obviously we need our pieces, which I have here. Make sure that you know which one is the longer one. I have another Polini. I actually have 2, and it comes in handy to have multiples. This one is going to be set at 1 inch. I'll show you why in a second. I don't need that because I have one on my apron. We have some glue because we need it to stick together. I'm using Boss Dog wood glue because I use it for everything. And you can now get it for CA glue, which is awesome. And then there's this ginormous can of activator also that comes with that little straw. So, oh, and I also need a nail gun. You're going to take the longer piece, and then the shorter piece is just going to go nice and flush all the way up to the top of the tree. So, let's get this glued. Now, because these are angled, obviously everything is going to be a little bit of a challenge. So what you can do, grab something that's straight and you're going to press it against there, and that'll give you, it's not really a clamp, but you can apply some pressure. Once that's good and tight, I'm going to take the nail gun, and you want to put it at an angle so it's not going to blow through. And also keep your fingers out of the way and keep pressure. So just like that. And another one. There we go. All right, next, this is where the Polini comes in handy. So I have it set at 1 inch. And I'm going to keep it here. And then I'm just going to take my pencil, put that there. Make sure your sides are as flush as possible. You can even, probably doing it this way would be a little easier, as long as you can see your line. Mash it there. We're going to add a little bit of glue and then pop some nails in. All right, so now we need to make the base. That way it can sit and it's nice and flat and a little bit more sturdy than what we have here. So the very first thing is we need to take one of our extra longer pieces and you're gonna make your 30-degree cut. Bring it over here, you're going to measure it. This is called a reference measure. So we're just going to reference the actual base and make our angle there. You don't necessarily have to cut it at an angle. You could just keep it flat like this, since everything should lay nice and flat. But I kind of like it to make it look like the whole tree is going down. All right, and let's go ahead and get this attached. I decided I wanted the decorative side up, that way people could see it. And that is a nice snug fit. So the next thing, I want to look at my edges, and I think I want this one out. Let's add a little bit of glue and nail it in. A little pop, pop. Fingers out of the way. You. Pop, pop. And let's see. Just like that, we have a barnwood, rustic looking tree decorative thing that people found on Pinterest and wanted to buy. Yeah. Okay, like I told you, we're gonna make these edges look a little bit less new. To do so, all you need is a torch. It doesn't have to be MAP gas, but because I cook and I use my big smokers, this is a lot hotter, a lot faster, and it has a better clicker igniter. There we go. So all we're gonna do here is just do a nice little dusting. And there you have it. It's that simple. All you got to do, make some rips, make some cuts, throw some angles at it, and you have a beautiful tree that someone can buy from you and stick it on their front porch, or honestly, who cares as long as they buy it. That's why I'm making them. If you've made it this far in the video, I really appreciate it. You watching this really keeps me motivated to continue to do these. Now, as a bonus, I want you to comment what you think this tree is made out of. And yes, I need to fix that nail that blew through. Thank you. They say talking to the camera gets easier, but boy, I really hope they're telling the truth.